If there is one thing I so much appreciate about this generation, it is the availability of knowledge. Knowledge is so much available that you don't have an excuse why you're not knowledgeable about a certain area of interest. I really appreciate how social media does it. Every day you scroll through any social media, there is always something to learn. And I like it how everyone talks about what to learn, and only a few people actually talks about how to learn. Because what to learn and how to learn are just two different skills. And trust me, if you ask me, how to learn is more powerful than the other. Because let's be honest for a moment, today's world doesn't reward what you already know. It rewards how fast you can figure things out. The people who win long term are not always the smartest in the room. They are the ones who have learned how to learn. They are the ones who have learned how to adapt, and the ones who have learned how to grow when everything changes. Just think about it. One thing about the school system is that it has been structured to teach us what to think and not how to think. So we memorize and pass the test, we move on. But in real life situation, it doesn't give you those multiple choice questions. It gives you problems with missing instructions, shifting roles and no clear answers. So you have to solve the puzzle yourself. That's when learning how to learn becomes a superpower. I hope you get my point. So, learning how to learn simply means understanding yourself. How do you absorb information? Because how I absorb information and how the other person absorbs information are just for two different people. Do you need to see the information before you absorb it? Do you need to hear it? Do you need to teach it? Personally, I understand better when I teach another person who doesn't have that information. If I'm teaching, forget it. I'm never going to forget that information. So you have to be self-aware of how you better absorb information. Do you need to teach it? Do you need to struggle with it? It simply means knowing when you're stuck and not panicking. Because being stuck is not failure, it is a feedback. That's your brain saying you are actually growing right now. Here's the hard truth. Discomfort is not a sign that you are bad at something. It's a sign that you are new at it. So every skill you admire, whether it is speaking confidently, whether it is coding, whether it is writing, whether it is about leading, or creating something, these skills were once awkward, they were once slow, and they were once frustrating for someone else. But you know what the difference is? The difference is that these people, they didn't quit at the uncomfortable part. They stayed curious instead of being judgmental about themselves or beating themselves up. Because when you learn how to learn, you stop tying your self-worth to being right. You start asking better questions. You start experimenting. You are going to learn how to break things, how to reflect, how to adjust, and try again. That's the process. And this process is worth more powerful than a piece of information because, information expires, but learning new skill compounds. And here's the thing more powerful. Learning how to learn gives you freedom. You're no longer limited by your background. You're no longer limited by your degree. You're no longer limited by your past mistakes. At that point, you no longer seek permission to grow, right? You can teach yourself new skills. You can pivot careers. You can solve problems that you've never seen before. And that's not luck. That's leverage, bro. But one thing you need to know about learning how to grow is that it requires humility. It requires the willingness. You have to be willing to say, I don't know yet. Not, I can't. Not, I'm not smart enough. Just, I don't know yet. That simple word, yet, keeps the door open. It keeps your mind open and ready to accept new things. You have to be ready to unlearn just to relearn. This skill is simply just going to turn walls into obstacles and obstacles into lesson, right? So let me tell you this. You have to slow down when you're rushing. Review when you want to move on. Teach what you've learned to someone else. Reflect on what worked and what didn't. Build systems, not just goals. And most importantly, stay curious. Curiosity in the right purpose is a major skill that no one talks about it. Curiosity will take you further than motivation will ever. Because in a world that is changing faster than ever, the most dangerous thing you can say is, I already know this. But the most powerful thing you can say is, I can learn this. And that's where a lot of people fail. So, lastly, I'm just going to say, learn how to learn, and you'll never be stuck again in the journey of your life. Have a great day. Cheers.